Hello, students, and welcome to World History. This presentation is your syllabus or your course overview, and it will help you understand a little bit about the course and how we're going to learn history this year. So the first thing I need you to do is to take notes on the presentation. I have guided notes available for you. Make sure you pick these up before you get started on the video. So welcome to World History. Let's take a look at how we are going to learn this year. If you are in option US history, some of this may be repetitive, so just take notes on the new information. If you're new to the option, you probably need to take more notes because you've not learned this information before. I did present last year that we were going to do thematic history, and we decided not to because of the EOC. So this year, because there is no EOC, we have a little bit more freedom, so we will be doing thematic history. So we're going to talk about the thematic approach, blended learning, self-paced structures, and mastery-based learning. So the thematic approach, do you know why we learn history chronologically? That's because it's always been taught that way. So this will help us to better connect history to modern issues. When we're in a unit, we may be looking at government, we'll actually start with a modern document, something that has happened in the last 20 years, which while that may not seem modern to you, it actually really is. And then connect it to ancient and more modern history. So we can see how issues like government, revolution, or gender have developed over time. Our goal is not to memorize dates, but to foster critical analysis or understanding and to help find your own answers to questions that have plagued people for centuries and throughout the world. Some of the things we'll look at are government, religion, conflict, gender, revolution, us versus them, and equality. So blended learning is another how of how we're going to learn. Each module, you'll either have a teacher-led video or resource packet to give you background information, like this video. You'll navigate through the assignment with the help of recorded videos, peers, or asking questions. After you've completed the background, you'll complete an activity and reflection questions. It will be self-paced, so each day you'll be in charge of your own learning. You will check the unit folder in Schoology and keep track of your progress as you proceed through the lessons with that document. You also will check Infinite Campus in order to see if you're on track or behind pace. There will be targeted due dates as well as suggested pace reminders. It's up to you to stay on pace and use class time to complete the module and achieve mastery. You have until a summative date to complete the unit work. If there is an extenuating circumstance, you can apply for an extension, but these will be considered on a case-by-case basis. This includes being absent on the day of a summative due date. Many of our summatives are not actually paper and pencil tests, so even if you are absent, conceivably you can turn it in on Schoology. So unless there's something catastrophic that really keeps you from getting online and submitting, you should be submitting your projects on time, even if you are not in school. Mastery-based learning means that when you're done with a module and you feel confident, you're going to do a mastery check. You're going to submit your assignments on Schoology or turn them in depending on how they're formatted. You will come to me and turn in your phone. The mastery checks are short answer questions. They're completed individually in a designated supervised area. You must get 80% to move on to the next module. If you're below, we'll talk about revisions. So let's look at what we are going to learn this year. So these are the themes that we're going to cover. We may not get to all of them, but I'm thinking we're going to at least get to 6, and we'll determine which one's largely based on our interest. We're going to start with forms of government. What should be the rights and responsibility of the rulers and the ruled? Religion and society. How should belief systems influence our lives? Us versus them. Who is civilized and who is barbarian? Conflict. What is worth fighting for? Equality versus hierarchy. What should be the balance between social equality and social hierarchy? Economics, technology, and the environment. How should people get resources they need? Gender. What should be the roles of women and men in society? Resistance, revolution, and change. How do political and social changes affect us, and how are they led by revolution? On your notes, take a look at these, hit pause, and write down the 2 that you think most will interest you. That will help us kind of determine as we go which ones have the most high interest. Now, the important question, how will I be graded? So our grades will be weighted. They were last year, but they were weighted like 60-40. So 40 for your daily practice and 60 for your summatives. That's going to be different this year. Your daily practice is 10% of your grade. Your summatives are 90%. So what that means is mastery and understanding of your daily practice are critical to performing on your summatives. So you must, then also you can choose within there how you want to achieve. So if you do just the must do's, and this is 75%, this is basic information, scratching the surface, basic learning. You can get up to a 75%. This is on your daily practice and your summative. If you do the should do, which is a little bit more and a little bit more application, you can get up to a B or an 85%. If you go to the Aspire to do, this is an additional 15% of the learning, which means that if you want to get an A, you need to be consistently engaging in and performing in the Aspire to do category. This is different from last year. Last year, you could just do the must do's and get an A. That's not how it works this year. You need to do more and be more engaged to get the A's. So, how am I graded? And again, your must do's, should do's, and aspire to do. So, your daily activity and formative assessments like mastery checks are the things that you're supposed to be doing every day to learn and proceed through the curriculum on pace. And this includes the mastery checks. Your summatives are completed at the end of each, not modules, but units. And revisions are required if you achieve under 75%. But our summatives are not going to be only paper and pencil tests. So they are going to require a decent amount of going back and revising to get to that 75% if you're under it. So, again, what really matters when you're graded? What determines my grade in the class? It's those summatives. So you may be swimming along really well. You're checking all the boxes. You're doing the assignments. You're turning them in. But when you get to the summative, if you have just been swimming through them, getting by and turning them in and not really learning through them, you may find your summatives are not as great as you had hoped. So this course is going to require you to be pretty darn engaged in your learning, mastering your content and understanding so that you can perform well on those summatives. As always, I'm here to support you along the way. But if the way that you're functioning in class is that you say hello, I take attendance, and I don't see you until that summative is due, you may struggle on performing well on those summatives. It is important to engage with me and to take the feedback I give you as we go, which I will make sure that I am checking in on you and giving you accurate feedback as to how you are performing along the way so that you can achieve on those summatives. So, what should you do in class? This is what a day looks like in the life of a 10 option students. You're going to check Infinite Campus on the gradebook. This is your progress tracker. You're going to see what's completed and graded. You're going to need to read the comments because sometimes if you have something missing, I'm going to put in there, this is the due date. Student needs to complete this in order to move on to the next, module. Student needs to spend more time outside of school catching up, et cetera, et cetera. You need to check your journal, whatever you're doing to plan out your day and plan out your work for the day. You're going to complete the module. These are in Schoology. The first link in the unit is going to have your pacing guide with due dates. So you want to check that first, check it against Infinite Campus, and then go to the module and complete it. You will see that there will be, if you click down on the folder, it will show you the directions for the day, what needs to be done, and then there will be background instruction, reflection questions. You will ask help from peers, rewatch videos, seek out a conference with me if you need to, and work collaboratively, but make sure you understand. And then you will complete the mastery check. You're going to turn in your module work, come to see me, turn in your phone, and independently complete the mastery check at the mastery table. Just like last year, if you don't meet mastery, which is 80%, you will need to revise. So what am I going to be doing in class? Well, I'm meeting one-on-one or leading small groups who need a little bit more support. I'm taking questions if you're struggling to understand something. I'm checking in with you and on your progress. I'm providing you with video instructions so that you can go back to those for more help, and grading your mastery checks and providing feedback on your assignments and updating Infinite Campus. What are you going to need each day for class? A charged Chromebook, a writing utensil, a pen or a pencil, a 2-inch binder to keep track of your handouts and work. There are no folders this year. You are in charge. And you'll need headphones or earbuds that work with your Chromebook. So go ahead and take a look at your notes. Make sure that if I went too fast, which I probably did, that you're doing the skill of hitting pause and going back and taking notes. And come to me to take your mastery check. Thank you for listening.